Hello lads and ladies, Brad the Guitarist here, coming to you from my kitchen. I've been covering the foibles of the big guitar manufacturers for a good many years now on this channel. In the past, we've talked about all kinds of lawsuits and threats of lawsuits between guitar companies. A few that come to mind have been the Gibson lawsuit against Dean, the Gibson threat of lawsuit against Kiesel, the intimidation and bullying threats from Fender Guitars against small companies like Lucky Dog. But this story you're about to hear pretty much takes the cake in my book for the most pernicious and ill-conceived of all these scandalous affairs. It involves a small wind instrument accessory maker called win-d-fender and legal threats that they have received from Fender Musical Instrument Corporation. It kind of actually blows my mind that I even have to report upon this. I found these guys just by happenstance, and they have an amazing story to tell about what Fender is doing against this company that has nothing whatsoever to do with guitars. Check this out. Dooley, you're the one who, did you invent this thing, or can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I invented it. I'm a woodwinds player, mostly a saxophone player, and I've been a private music teacher in the area for 34 years. I carry around 100 students a week. I have my degree in jazz studies arranging from University of North Texas. I play in big bands and jazz combos, and 25 years ago, I was playing in a band. Anyway, the band leader, Jim, was a big Stan Getz fan, so he was always calling Girl from Ipanema, stuff like that. I never liked playing that stuff on the saxophone. It always sounded smarmy to me. So I decided I would get my flute and learn them on the flute. So the first time we had a gig, turns out it was an outdoor wine tasting. It was a very windy day, and I didn't know you couldn't play the flute in the wind. I'd never tried to do that before. Jim called Girl from Ipanema, and I stepped up to the mic. It was embarrassing, too, because the mayor was officiating this event. He was standing about 5 feet from me on the stage. And they played the intro. I stepped up to the mic. A big gust of wind hit me in the face, and no sound came out of the instrument. And of course, the guys in the band are laughing. The mayor's laughing. So I went and put my flute away and got my saxophone back out and played the rest of the gig on that. It was embarrassing. It was one of the most humiliating things that ever happened to me. And I asked flute players, like, what do you do when you're playing outside in the wind? This can't be the first time this has ever happened. And they just said, well, you just can't play. So, well, that's not a good answer. What about all these marching band kids? What do? Well, if it's windy, they're not playing because you can't play. If the air blows across the lip plate, it diverts your airstream and you can't play the flute. So I started looking for a device that would fix the problem. I was looking for something to buy at first. There just wasn't anything. And years went by, and I would run it past friends once in a while. I mean, why can't we put some kind of shield or some kind of wrapping around this to fix this problem?
Some kind of fender?
Yeah, well, right. That's the origin of it. From that point, we started making iterations, different designs. We went through 21 iterations before we finally got it right. Through our testing, we also discovered that this device can also be used as a personal reflective monitor. This was a surprise.
I believe they would call that a parabolic acoustic reflector.
That sounds like a good name. We might use that in our marketing. So I took it in the studio because I wanted to make sure that you could still mic the flute. Because you have this cover on the front of the flute, I didn't want it to impede the miking. And when I took it in for the miking, the first thing that happened is those guys thought that this was for them, because traditionally they want to mic the flute directly across from the lip plate, but they usually can't do that because the player's airstream blows into the microphone. Correct. So they either have to move it closer to the crown or closer to the collar, or they have to put the microphone like 6 feet away. One thing they discovered was that you can mic the flute normally. We got vents there to help with the sound projection, and you can mic it, and it doesn't affect the performance of the microphone. A small enough mic you can even put inside the shield. but you can also place the microphone directly in front of the lip plate, and the shields the player's airstream from hitting the lip plate, so you have optimal mic placement. The next thing we discovered in this studio, I placed microphones right behind my ears.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my thought too. Yeah.
And we tested it with the microphones in front and behind, with and without the win-d-fender. And we've discovered two things. Number one, that it does indeed increase the level from what you're hearing. You can hear yourself louder. It also does not affect the projection from the front. So to the audience, you still sound the same. But the coolest thing that we found was that the sound that's reflecting back is harmonically closer to the way your audience hears you than what you would normally hear.
Someone sent me something and I saw a post, I guess that Clem had put up, or one of you guys had put up, about you sort of being attacked, legally speaking, by the company Fender, which everybody in my audience knows is a guitar company out of California. Fender makes guitars, amplifiers, and usually things that are related to guitars. To my knowledge, Fender has never come out with anything that's band instrument related. They've never come out with anything that's percussion, wind, anything that's really intended for use in the band instrument sort of vein. To hear that you guys have gotten a cease and desist from Fender is kind of striking, but not surprising, because it seems to me that lately they've been on a sort of a tear of defending IP, intellectual property, in ways that I think are kind of shady. They've done it to some guitar makers who they've accused of copying their designs, who obviously, in my opinion, were not copying their designs, their headstock shapes and things like this. They've sent cease and desist orders to very small companies trying to beat up on them and bully them around. Here you guys are, you've put your own money where your mouth is. You've developed this product that does several things. It improves the way that flutes respond in open air so that people can have concerts outside with flute type instruments. What Fender said when they sent you the cease and desist, exactly what was their complaint? You guys, I talked to Clem briefly in text, and he indicated that you guys had offered maybe to not capitalize the D and the F and D-fender. So if you break it down, and I'll show this on the screen for my audience to see, the name of your company is WIN dash and a D and then another dash or hyphen, and then the word Fender. So it's win-d-fender. So it's like a play on words. And I pointed out to Clem also that, the thing that you have developed actually is a Fender. Physically, it is a Fender, just like you would find on a vehicle that airstreams.
People have pointed that out before.
Yes.
But it is a stylized spelling of win-d-fender.
Of course. Yes.
Win-d-fender. We call it a windshield, but that's on a car. So then we were calling it a wind guard. And so one day I Googled synonyms for guard, and defender came up, and I thought, well, that's kind of an alliteration. It's fun to say. It sounds like something that people would remember, and I bounced it off the guys, and so we called it win-d-fender. And then we created a stylized spelling. When you register a trademark, there's restrictions as like the name of the device can't state the function of the device, and so we thought if we just use the regular spelling for those words, that maybe that wouldn't be allowed with the trademark rules. And so it's a stylized version.
You've been approved for that, right? You have an approved trademark.
That's right. We've had an approved trademark.
That's correct.
Yeah, Clem, can I get you in here for just a moment and get some clips from you? So you are are you the engineer helping on this, or what's your role?
Sure. My background is in design and development. I've worked in engineering and brought products to market for most of my career for over 20 years. You're absolutely right. We registered our trademark, win-d-fender, way before we brought this product to market. We try to do the right thing. We bring and apply for a trademark, and then the U.S. government does their own research, and they decide that you're worthy and to have this trademark, and they grant it to us. So we have a trademark that the United States government provided us.
So if my audience wants to help you fight Fender and keep this product at market under the name that you've already spent all of this money on, how are they able to help you out? Do you have a GoFundMe, or can you give me that link or address?
Yes, absolutely. We have a change.org petition that we're getting signatures from, and we also have a GoFundMe page, and I'll forward you those links.
Okay, I'll put them down in the description. So my audience, if you guys want to help these guys out, shoot them a few bucks to help out, because Fender has got all the money in the world, and we've seen some of the stuff that they're capable of doing in terms of throwing their lawyers around and their weight around. So these guys are going to need some help, and obviously, Dooley is a teacher and a musician, and here you've got Clem and their other partners. I'm presuming none of you guys are rich people, right? You don't have like a billionaire uncle, right?
Yeah, I didn't become a musician because I thought it was lucrative.
No,
yeah, exactly.
We pulled money out of our retirement accounts. We pulled money out of savings to fund this company. And we're not, at this point, we're just a startup. This company's only been around for a few years. We haven't even pulled a salary out of this right now. So this right now, we're just working, and hopefully this will be a viable business one day.
Yeah, and this is something that could be the death knell for a small company, an upstart company that has solved a problem in the music industry with players and with people in the recording industry as well. The instruments record better, play better outside. You have solved so many problems. I think, from what I can see, you haven't violated anyone's trademark. Fender does not have claims in this particular area of musical instrument sales to any degree. So I think just that separation alone should see you guys winning in a court if this actually goes to court. I think Fender would eventually back down before it came to that, because they know they don't have a case here, I would have to believe. From what I can tell about precedent in these sorts of cases, they do delineate between different segments of the economy. So if Fender doesn't actually, if they're not competing in the same space as you, the fact that you have the word Fender in your name, which is an allusion to me of the object itself, is a Fender, and it's a play on words with the win-d-fender. I get it totally. But if they have a problem with that, I don't see where they have really much of a claim, since they're not competing in the same direct space as you, because you're selling obviously to this area of musical instruments. They don't sell band instruments. They don't make flutes. So I don't see how this is relevant to them in any way.
We were surprised. Of course, I'm familiar with Fender, but it had never crossed my mind that there was any conflict of interest there. I personally, it shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah. But you guys, is that true though? You guys did offer to make the D and the F lowercase, and they rejected that offer?
So we've got some ongoing litigation going on right now. So we really don't want to comment on the details there, just because we may put ourselves in jeopardy.
I understand. Well, like I said, I will put the links for my audience down below in the description to this video, and in a pinned comment where they can contribute to help you guys out and defend yourselves, not to make a pun. Because to me, this is absolutely egregious and stupid. Fender should not be bullying small companies like you guys. I understand that companies have to defend their trademarks in order to keep those trademarks, but they don't have a trade in the same area that you guys do with this product. They don't make band instrument accessories. They just, they owned Command for a little while. I'm not sure if they still own Command, where they did distribute certain things, but the Fender name was never tied directly to Command. I think it was a separate entity. So maybe there's something in there that they're trying to claim, like because we own these accessories and that you guys are trying to, stamp on their territory there. But to me, it makes absolutely no sense. I think it's egregious and stupid. And if Fender doesn't back down from this, I would urge guitar players, put your money somewhere else and stop supporting companies that do this to small mom and pops. Because if we keep doing this, we get the world that we deserve. And if companies like yours are not allowed to bring a product to market that you've already gotten a legal patent and everything on and a trademark, then I don't see what kind of world we're going to have going forward that's going to be positive. So But anyway, listen, is there anything else you guys want to say before we hang up here? Or?
You hit on the head. We're just a mom and pop company. We have 0 employees. We're the ones doing all the work, every little bit of work. And it's not just changing our name. There's a huge cost for us, right? It means we have to change our name in all our packaging. We have a lot of dealers and stores that are selling our product. They'd have to get rid of all their product. We need new tooling. We have to buy new packaging, change our websites, hire a website designer, change all our websites. So I want to stress that it's not just change our name. It's really a big burden on us. And having legal action against us is also a big cost as well. And one of the things that might happen as an outcome of this is we might just go out of business because we just don't have the funding to defend ourselves.
Sure. It's all the lost marketing investment I'm sure you've made thus far as well. All of that would be basically flushed down the toilet if you had to change your name.
Sure.
Well, listen, Clem and Dooley, it's very nice meeting you both. Thank you so much for coming on. And I'll try to get this video up in the next couple of days and hopefully raise some awareness for this for you guys. And best of luck to you. I really hope that you beat this bully down, because I think that's exactly what Fender has become, is a bit of a bully. So
thank you very much.
We appreciate your time.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit subscribe down below. Also, check down below in the description for a GoFundMe account where you can help these guys defend themselves against the bully that Fender has become. Until next time, we will see y'all later.